Here's the story of how I got to see the most beautiful Croatian island.
Hey guys, it's your girl Anna, and this is another Tootsie Blabber video. This time I'm in Croatia on this beautiful island Vis, and let's explore it together.
Please maintain a safe distance to others, ensure good hand and respiratory hygiene, and wear a mask.
While the pandemic situation both in Finland and Croatia were quite under control in summer 2020, we decided to visit my family in Croatia. Since my boyfriend Jani broke his leg in July 2020, we had to postpone our summer travel to an autumn travel, the end of September.
There is literally no people at the airport.
After traveling through zombie-apocalyptic, half-empty airports, we managed to safely land to Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. From there we took a rent-a-car.
We just left Zagreb. We're going to Vis.
And went straight to, let's call it, self-isolation, because Finland was almost COVID-free, marked green, so we didn't really need to go to self-isolation. But to be 100% sure that we wouldn't get anyone close to me in danger, we decided we would isolate on an island for 8 days before meeting my family in Zagreb. There are only a couple of ferries that take you to Vis, even in the high season. We unfortunately missed our last ferry from Split to Vis, so we went to a small little village near Split and stayed overnight in Hotel Villa Mediterrana. It was a charming little place with its own private beach. I will never forget the moment when I dove into the sea for the first time after a year. I remember thinking, oh my god, less than a day ago I was in cold Finland and now I'm swimming in a warm, salty Adriatic Sea. I'm home. The next morning we packed and the excitement grew. We were ready to see Vis.
Where are we going, Jani?
Otok Vis.
Vis was at that time the only COVID-free place in the whole Croatia, so there was no doubt. Vis was our meant-to-be place to go in 2020. To be able to reach island Vis, you have to take a ferry from the coastline. We drove to Split, took famous Petar Hektorović ferry, and in about 2.5 hours we reached island Vis. We were so tired, but so thankful and so happy. Many say it is different from any other islands in Croatia. I've been to many places on Croatian coast, but for some reason, islands have always been the most beautiful and special experiences to me. Locals call it the Island of Happiness. Vis is a small and the farthest inhabited island in Croatia. Before coming to Vis, we had to decide where we wanted to stay, so I asked some of my friends if we should stay in Vis or Komiža. Those are the biggest towns on the island, both unique in so many different ways. But for some reason, we picked Komiža, and we were not sorry at all. Komiža is a small, charming town located on the west shore of Vis Island. It is known as the farthest inhabited place of the Croatian mainland. It is located on the foot of the highest hill on the island, Hum Hill, whose shield from sharp winds makes it the warmest town in the Adriatic. The only way to get to Komiža is to drive from the highest point of Hum Hill all the way down to the town. It might be scary at first, but once you get used to it, it becomes one of the most beautiful sunset roads on the planet. One of the most important part of our stay in Komiža was definitely our accommodation, where we stayed for a bit over a week. We booked our accommodation in gorgeous Villa Kamenitza, owned by the amazing host Željka. We were stunned by the villa the minute we walked into its romantic garden full of Mediterranean herbs and flowers, lemon and olive trees, and a couple of turtles. Villa Kamenitza has a couple of different apartments. We stayed in Paradise Garden, which was truly
Paradise. This is our yard. We're eating breakfast here and dinners usually, or lunch. Here's grill.
It was a delightful, calm, clean, beautifully decorated apartment. We felt so close to nature, and oh god, the bed was amazing.
And this is where we stay. Perfect place for two. It has a beautiful bed. Oh my god, the bed is the most perfect bed that I've ever slept on. It has a TV, AC, and lovely little bathroom. Everything you need for perfect vacation, and I mean the most beautiful thing. Look at that view.
Villa is situated in the center of Komiža, just a few minute walk from the town's beach and 5 minutes from the main square. Komiža, tiny, untouched Mediterranean town with narrow streets and the center of once largest fishing industry in the Adriatic, where pirates were a constant danger for Komiža's fishermen. If you ever get a chance to visit Komiža, talk to locals. You will hear some unbelievable legends and stories of the island. Try local delicacies. We enjoyed delicacies from Bako restaurant, small konoba/tavern Robinson, and the pastry shop Cukar full of delicious gluten-free cakes. But unfortunately, many of the local restaurants were closed due to COVID and the end of the summer season, such as legendary Stožera restaurant where they serve local lobsters. And last but not least, join one of many local cruises where you get the chance to see many mystique, beautiful places on the island, such as a military cruise which shows tunnels dug through the island when it served as a major military base for the Yugoslavian army in the 90s. Unfortunately, we didn't get the chance to board the military cruise due to the timing of our trip, but we did take a few stunning must-see trips. One of those is Island Biševo. Biševo Island is only 6 square kilometers and has about 19 inhabitants. To get there, you need to take a local ferry or book one of many private boat cruises. We took a local ferry, paid about 50 kunas back and forth, which is around 8 euros, and in a little bit less than 1.5 hours, we were there. When in Biševo Island, visit Blue Cave. You will have to pay for the entrance, about 5 euros per head, but you will also get a private guide which takes you with a small boat to the hidden cave. There is no video in this whole world which can describe the beauty of Blue Cave. Wow! The sunlight enters into the cave through a crack in the rock, and it creates an amazing blue glowing effect all around the cave. Second must thing on Biševo Island is Porat beach. You can either walk through the island or in our case, with Jani's broken leg, take a few stops with a local ferry and you're there in about 15 minutes. Porat is considered to be one of the most beautiful beaches in Croatia. Right next to the beach there is a local restaurant called Jakše, which literally means at Jakše's place. They serve local sea delicacies, which we highly recommend to try. There is no word to describe this place. We really enjoyed it. We spent the whole day swimming, sunbathing, eating delicious food, and taking mental snapshots of the beach, which is today one of my favorite places to go to in my meditations.
It's so freaking beautiful here.
For many people, Vis is one of the most beautiful islands in the whole Mediterranean, and that is for a reason. While most of the Mediterranean coast was built and was open to tourism, Vis served as an army base for almost half a century. The island was isolated by military during World War II, when it served as Yugoslavia's central naval base all the way until Croatia became independent in 1991. Vis is an island of untouched nature and architecture. Once you step on the island, you feel like you stepped into past centuries. Something that has been disadvantaged for so many years became advantage for many tourists, even Hollywood producers, who found Vis being a perfect location for filming Mamma Mia sequel in 2017. Which takes us to town Vis, the place where most of the movie scenes were filmed and where Mamma Mia crew was accommodated.
Welcome to beautiful Vis.
Vis is an irresistible small town and the first place you step off Jadrolinija ferry when you arrive to the island. Best part of Vis Town are its charming streets and neighborhood Kut, which was also a temporary home to Hollywood crew during Mamma Mia filming. No wonder. Those beautiful narrow streets which hide many beautiful secret gardens. Every peak was a happy, eye-pleasing surprise. Unfortunately, just like Komiža, many restaurants were closed during our pandemic autumn stay in Vis, but we really enjoyed seafood wonders in restaurant Admiral. They had super professional service and had a great knowledge of gluten-free diet. The most fun part on staying on any island is exploring it. Some days we just sat in our car and went to enjoy Vis' beautiful sightseeings, vineyards, and visit delicious restaurants and taverns. One of a few mandatory stops when you are moving from one side of the island to another is Winehouse Aerodrome, or airport in English. It got named after a nearby World War II airfield in Plisko Polje, which is nowadays field full of shepherds and their fluffy sheeps. Aerodrome is a great place to stop and get some delicious local wine and small plates. We tried one of little grazing plates and enjoyed an innovative and vibrant ambience. Once you continue driving, enjoy the island's surroundings. You might notice a huge solar power plant on one of the hills. It is the largest solar power plant constructed in Croatia. We really enjoyed the vibe of tiny villages. They brought a nostalgic feeling of some old times. In one of those villages called Počpide is a small family-owned restaurant Gušti Poja. The exterior and the interior of the place were absolutely stunning. The food on the menu are top-class Vis delicacies. We were absolutely delighted by the place owned and run by mother and daughter who were so charmingly and happily guiding us through the menu and had no problem adjusting the menu to my special gluten-free diet. Loved it. The island has a handful of families who own their own family restaurants run in their own gardens. We visited one of the families in Plisko Polje and their delightful home called Belotovo. In order to get there, you need to make a pre-order at least a week or some days before if you're lucky. We absolutely recommend to book a visit to one of those places because you get to experience how to live and eat as a local. Belotovo restaurant is a family house surrounded by olive trees, vineyards, fig trees, Mediterranean herbs, flowers, and farm animals. We pre-ordered Pekka-styled lamb, which is a must if you ever travel to the Dalmatian coast. We got a chance to see how our food under Pekka was made, while enjoying wine and dessert on family's beautiful terrace.
We are super impressed. We're still eating. You have to try this.
Even though it might be a bit pricey experience, comparing to other restaurants on the island, this is on our top list of recommendations. Vis beaches. Every single beach on the island is special in its own way. Most of them are pebble beaches, which are my personal favorite. We haven't been able to visit all the beaches on the island, but I'll share our experience from the ones we managed to visit. Gusarica beach in the center of Komiža. It's a soft pebble beach with a beautiful St. Mary church nearby, known as Lady of Pirates, which is Gusarica in a literal translation. It's a 5-minute walk from Komiža main square. Pritišćina beach is just a couple of kilometers from Komiža town. To get there, you need to have a good driving skills because it's located under the steep hill. But once you get there, you're gonna love it. Since it's not so easy to get there, there are usually not many people on the beach, and we loved it. If you really love sandy beaches, explore beaches around Milna town. It is located on the south side of the island, has a very shallow sandy bottom, therefore suitable for all snorkeling enthusiasts. This is a #1 beach family for children, in my opinion. Grandovac is beach close to town Vis. It's a beautiful pebble beach with a small bar which was unfortunately closed during our stay. And there it is, Stiniva, the beach I wanted to visit for so many years. Before I go straight to Stiniva, I will share the story of how we got there. In order to get to Stiniva, you have to either walk around 20 minutes through the deep goat path or take a boat trip. Since Jani's leg didn't allow us to visit some of the places on the island which required both healthy legs, we chose to take a boat ride to Stiniva. We were super lucky to find one of the last boat cruises which went from Komiža town to Stiniva beach, Green Cave and Blue Lagoon with Royal Marine Croatia tours. It was literally one of the last cruises from Komiža in 2020. We had super lovely and young guides, Jakov and Rita. They took us to their speedboat and brought us to one of the coolest life adventures. Vis has only a handful of rainy days per year. And guess what? We were one of the lucky ones to experience it. And that happened exactly when we were departing from Komiža Riva towards Stiniva. Luckily, the rain lasted for only 20 minutes or so, but it also cleared out our path from other tourist boats. And we got to stunning Stiniva all alone.
Damn!
This literally never happens, so I'm extremely grateful for a few drops of rains that cloud brought just in time of our trip to Stiniva. Looking from the seaside, Stiniva is closed in by 2 high rocky cliffs which at their closest point are just 4 meters from each other. Between them appears a pebble beach, but only after sailing through the gateway it opens like a Roman amphitheater auditorium paved in stones. My long-cherished dream came true. And yes, this is my favorite beach on the island.
You like Stiniva?
Love it!
Nice.
Not sure if I would say the same if the beach would be packed with tourists, but luckily I have no idea how that feels. Our trip with Royal Marine continued to a tiny Ravnik island where lies Green Cave. We continued to Blue Lagoon, where I had one of the nicest and most hilarious adventures on the island. Once we got there, we were greeted by 2 local donkeys who later on peed on my beach towel. Yep, you've heard it well.
Hei! Älä syö minua!
I was without a towel for the rest of the trip, but a tiny beach bar made everything feel better. And then tired and happy, we headed back home. Towards the end of our stay, the weather started changing, which is extremely rare for the island. The whole summer season was extremely dry without even 1 drop of rain. And then us. A couple from Finland brought some chilly clouds with us. Luckily, the rain started during our last days of the stay. We took advantage of it and relaxed in our cozy Villa Kamenitza, took an awesome, well-needed massage in Komiža's Studio Mas, and in the afternoons we had coffee in local cafes. We even climbed the top of Hum Hill to check the view of a stormy sea. And we learned some fun facts about the island. Some 220 million years ago, while dinosaurs ruled the world, there was an active volcano in Komiža Bay. Right before departing from the island, we went to see gorgeous Fort George, which is a medieval fortress built by the British Royal Navy 200 years ago. Today it is a monument of the beautiful architecture of that time, located on the hill above Vis Town, which makes it one of the best places on the island for a perfect sunrise and sunset. Unfortunately, it was closed during our stay, so we couldn't order a drink, but it's definitely worth visiting. And then we went home. Vis is a spectacular place, different from all the other islands in the Adriatic Sea. It stole our hearts with its elegant beauty and nostalgic vibes. If you ever get a chance, it's my highest recommendation. Love you, Vis, and see you soon.